Yeah,
That's right.
perfect. Welcome, Johnny. Welcome, Rita. Hope you
Good.
guys are doing fine. Hey.
She's
Oh,
back in the saddle again. She's back.
yes. Happy to have you once more. Just see
Didn't know I
here.
could sing, did you? Kidding. I really can't.
What?
I
What? Sorry.
And
said, you didn't know I could sing, did you? I said, kidding.
No, I didn't.
I'm kidding. I can't. I can't. I used to be able to,
he
Perfect.
can certain songs,
but
not all the songs.
you never seen my video of me doing Elton John, Virgil?
No,
Oh, I'm gonna have to share that one with you.
no. Yeah, do
I did that
share
on
because
a cruise ship in front of about 1,500 people. It was a blast.
must have been a changing experience. Whenever you're exposed to the public like that for a conversation, it's always something. Uh, Sorry if I'm looking away from the screen there. I'm trying to see if I can live stream this part properly this time,
Yeah,
and
you
we'll
know
see.
what?
Yeah,
Tune it
and
in.
then
Look.
we'll start right away. I'll try one last time. I'm not sure what is the constant bug with this. I seem to be doing things right. We'll see. Oh, que será, será.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go. I think it worked. Lovely. So, que será,
I'm still
será?
trying to finish
Yeah.
my bacon, lettuce, tomato, onion, avocado,
Perfect.
cilantro sandwich.
Oh, sure, it's
We
delicious.
were catching them at
Okay.
lunchtime. You see, even Rita's munching.
We'll get things started and let the others slowly catch up to us. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is going back into the fold of what we were discussing yesterday so that we can get a better picture of what this is meant to look like. Yesterday, when we discussed the retention strategy, I said that I could only really give you the framework of how to approach this properly for what you have in mind to design or to put forward as the motion in which you will interact with people. A lot of these, a lot of that strategy at first is solely based on you. So it brings a lot of questions into mind. Most of the question that in the end you're asked to answer when you're providing service or making an offer. And we'll try to cover that today. Yesterday, I started with one slide, and I want to go back to that. I added an extra for the picture to be complete. I think that I'm going to keep this approach. Thank you, Robert, for the nuggets that you deliver every Monday. I think I'm going to start every meeting or try my best to start every meeting with such a slide to put that imagery in perspective. An image is worth 1,000 words, and sometimes starting with that allows the space to fill in as we go through the rest of the conversation. So, yesterday I put forward that when we hear funnel, most of the time, these are the elements that spring to mind, right? The percentage effect, the increasing rate that we're looking for, the segmentation of our customer base, and how we achieve success using marketing strategies. And this is what we generally see. But in reality, the concept of a funnel goes together with a retention
Mhm.
strategy, right? You have to be able to collect what you gather, what you funnel in from this attraction marketing, this mass marketing approach, getting them into the fold of your offer and opting in. Once that happens, there has to be a strategy to keep that conversation, that relationship going, right? So retention is an essential part of our funnel strategy. And to make this picture complete, and this is every This is a simple diagram, but I think I'm going to be referring a lot to these icons because they do encapsulate a lot of what we are constantly trying to do, right? We are always talking about lead magnets, right? And that's the acquisition part. This is where we actively promote our offer to attract these interests, right? We're always talking about, well, how do I get them to opt in and what happens when they opt in? That's the conversion process. And finally, the retention, right? So acquisition, conversion, retention, as I kept on repeating this, these were the pictures in my mind, a way to attract people, a way to convert that interest into action in my favor, and more importantly, a way to keep that relationship going, right? Because you thrive on what you convert, yes, but you grow and you build legacy on what you can keep, right? Very important. Some affiliate marketers that are solely set on these two phases, acquisition and conversion, are often the type of affiliate marketers or brand ambassador that are always on the hamster wheel because they don't keep what they convert. They know that there is an expiry date built in into the relationship because they're not set to maintain it. They haven't properly thought about that, right? They're closers. Hence that word and that frequent term that at one point was everywhere and so annoying. I'm a closer, right? I just close, 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 close. Yeah, well, what do you do with what you are, all these people, these relationships that you create, right? Closing imply converting, going over objections, showing passion, being genuinely interested in the prospect enough for them to embark on this journey with us, right? So what happens when you close them? And that's very important, right? Uh, to approach this strategy, we were discussing these 10 points, right? And around these 10 points, we were laying foundation for what is a support hub, a central hub, a central place where everything that you need to be repeat or everything that you're going to be repeating to teach is all there, right? So it avoids you that repetition. It allows you also to free time and have better impact, right? And let me go back to this. So yesterday I had fleshed, I had outlined the roadmap. And today what I did is or overnight, what I did is I try to flesh out this so that I can properly anchor things in your mind and also make you understand that first, a complex environment in the end is just a series of small steps that you took, right? And
Mhm.
it is not that complicated to put this system together. It's something that requires you to approach the conversation with a customer care approach, right? Very important. So, still, we're going to linger a lot in this space for the next sessions because it brings in everything: website mapping, conversation, branding, intent, and all of that. All right, so we're going to stay in this space. Yesterday, in reference to the intention when we're building a website with many tabs, the function of the welcome page, I had showed you that we have our menu, and this is again a space where we can let loose with information. This is where we're past the kiss moment and we're in the hard embrace. This is where the difference, for example, will be made between your I'm gonna try to use that right. I never took the course, Robert, but I want to use that right. The difference between your apple, your oranges, and your coconut. If I understand it from my mind sight, these are three fruits. These are what we're trying to get. And the only difference between these fruits is how you get to consume it, right? An apple, you wash it, it's good to go. You bite into it, you savor, and that's a simple client, simple situation. Well, an orange, there's a little bit of work there, right? You got to peel it as well. Simple but complex. And the coconut, well, there's layers, the outer skin, the inner shell before you get to the juice. A little bit more work, right? So simple, simple but complex, complex but simple. Same thing goes for this platform, right? Did I hit it on the? Thank you then. Well, it's normal at this point because you and I we echo in a frequency that right
Yeah,
is
but
right there.
100%, I mean, that's why I broke it down to make it that simple for everybody, right?
Hmm.
Perfect. Perfectly said. Very well. Very well.
Oh, thank you. We're in sync, right? So this brings all these concepts together, right? And it also is going to allow us to reinforce things. So first thing first, as we usually do when we have a platform, as we expect people to travel across the menu to get what they're looking for, when we scroll down, we're also trying to achieve the same thing. And at the same time, uh, just to show you that this, which is destined to be, or which is conceived to be a support hub, can also be a place to start placing products, reinforcing the conversation, right? Which I did. We're talking about a support hub, we're talking about a community. I have such a product with deeper interests, I can present it, right? So everything that you've done, everything that you build so far is not lost. You want to come into this framework and start looking at, okay, well, what is, I built this and initially for this purpose. How can I reassign it to fit in the bigger process? What piece of the puzzle was this? Maybe at the beginning, I didn't have the grand picture in mind and I built things as I went, right? And at one point, they have to connect. So nothing you've done is lost. Keep that in mind in the environment. Just reshape your vision so that you understand. I need to build a relationship, even if it's just one client I get a month. I need to build, cherish, and keep that conversation, that relationship going, because month after month that will increase, and if eventually, slowly but surely, you'll find your way to that scale, to that sweet spot, right? But you have to keep what you earn, right? So very simply, the navigation again, I can navigate through these different sections from the first part, which is just normal positioning. I think we all are accustomed to that. The most important part, the one that I wanted to cover, is how do we flesh out these conversations, right? I started laying foundation yesterday for the onboarding, and I mentioned that there are two types of onboarding that can happen in this environment. If I offer the product, I want to onboard you into the product. That is a product onboarding. It has its space or its place here. If I want to onboard you into the environment, which is also something that is necessary, this is something also that the space is fit for. In this case, I wanted to give you an example. So outlining a 7-day or 14-day step-by-step launch is something that maybe I will use in the development section of this conversation. Here I chose to onboard the client and the community, right? Which is something that you should always think about. If I want to welcome you into this community, these are the basic steps that I want you to take. Step one, of course, join the team, right? Step two, I want to have a connection with everybody that comes in the community. Whether I referred you to this, so the connection was already established, or in this case, I use this support hub as a marketing asset, or you were referred by an affiliate that liked the service, I want to meet you. But even more so throughout the platform, since this is a support and I want to build trust, and this is about me being available to the audience, you'll see that most of the focus of these different sections will be about establishing contact. And that's important. Just knowing that you have the possibility of reaching out to me for any question, this hotline, this support channel makes a difference in a conversation. It doesn't mean that people are going to be abusing it. And if they are, it means that they love your service even more. You might have to scale up your customer interaction pretty quickly, but that's a very great measure of success or engagement, right? And again, that's the number one resources that we always have available to us: time. Not enough time, too much time. We we're always struggling with that, right? So we want to balance that. And also, coming back to time, when you start looking at a support system, you are forced to look at your calendar. You are forced to look at the availability that you can create. And you're also forced to balance the value of your time, right? If I'm giving this time, it has to be turned or worth some kind of monetary value, I would say, right? Because this is what you're offering. Regularly to talk to me, you have to pay an hour, but because of your part of this community, you have access to me for this period of time this way. This is value that is built in. Now, time that is a commodity for you that they need is something that can be leveraged, value. Even the whole platform, when somebody comes in and sees all this work and guidance that has been put to their intention, there's that factor that is created, right? So step two, assessment, right? Step three, I want you to join our sessions, right? I didn't correct the button term here, but it would be join our case study. After I meet you, I definitely will recommend that you join us, because this is where you get to live fire your questions and get live answers. This is where you get to network with other people. This is where you get to see other people's achievement to motivate you. This is where this whole community comes into fruition. And this is something that I'm already investing in doing. So come in, right? Step four, go through the process, rating your brand. Now, I didn't correct this here. I went a little too fast, but this one is meant to have you take a look at the development section, right? So already as we're going down, I'm trying to get you to go to the next step, which matters in this case, right? Here, for example, I started bringing in the other asset that I had built. We spoke about these training tools, the IMI profiler, the IMI audience as well, profiler, as a step-by-step exercise to make you aware of the input that you're giving to the AI for the output that you're looking for, right? You can prompt the AI at any point for a question, but you're still going to have to absorb what it provides you. And when you have absorbed it, you need to be able to put it out once more. Same process, right? Often enough, when we get things without that mechanical action, we forget or we can't value its proper weight. So very important. And the rest, join the mentorship, right? Already here, I'm introducing the idea to come, right? Community needs skills level and mentorship, right? So very simply, this is a conversation, right? How do I envision it makes the difference in how I position the conversation and the value that people get from it. If I have no vision for this process, I cannot support a valuable conversation with passion interests. This is the process that you'll follow. I can describe this before you even get to come here for reinforcement, right? So simple process in terms of onboarding. And it brings us back again to all the documents that we already shared together, all the discussions that we had when we covered, for example, the asset preparation, right? Before even that, the coaching, right? What are we doing when we're creating a coaching or an onboarding process? So these values, these documents are already available. And if you have been following, you already are aware of where you can grab these assets, how you can make use of it, if you yourself have not already been involved in the process of building it, right? So we have the suggested assets as well. Take a look at it. We even have the practical exercise in that space to help you build that for yourself, right? But all that belongs here in the support system. Keep that in mind. Just going to go back to that and we'll take a look at the other screens there. One of the things that I thought might have been a complicated issue to tackle. And again, that was even before I started talking. Before I get that complicated section, we'll take a look at the development. Again, what we constantly discuss here are the fundamentals, right? And it's important. If you are past the fundamentals, then the interaction that we will have will show that, right? If you're past the fundamentals, then taking a test and reconfirming that so you can move through the ladder of the skill development levels or ascertain the skill is only normal, right? And through the process of our conversation, I had built a few tools, right? And I'm integrating those. These tools were meant to test skill, test knowledge. These tools all ended up with an offer for an assessment to review the conversation. So once again, the underlying objective is still there. I added one new tool which I built for this exercise, reinforcing these values, right? And if you're looking at the experience or what I'm trying to do is through this process, I'm also starting to separate the audience by skill level. Depending on how you answer this, I can evaluate your knowledge of your product beyond what the output of this tool will be. I'm more interested in what you are putting in. It's an assessment tool. If you give me a nice, concise paragraph as a baseline for any of these answers, I know that you have done your homework, that you're knowledgeable. If you give me two quick words there, well, either you were not implicated in this service, in this exercise, or you're not sure what you're doing. That allows me, before even we meet, to have a good understanding of what you're doing once I glance at the report assessment. It also allows me to start lining out the learning curve for this person, right? Your skill test, I'm using again all these different products, right? Or software. Or these different tools that I created. So very important so far, look at what you have built. Look at these points, look at that strategy, and start bringing those together. Because often enough, we have more than we think. It is just scattered, so we can't make sense of the puzzle as we have already started assembling it, right? Levels, right? At this point, if we're talking skills, we have to have a metric of measurement, right? How do I scale these people? And this is where I thought again that it was going to be complicated, but looking at just what I was offering, time and what I was evaluating, skill set, knowledge, experience, I was able with AI to bring something together that I can support in the conversation. And that what is the finality of these? Whenever you're looking at these points and you're building your strategy, it comes back to you being able to support that. And the stronger you are in that feeling, the stronger will be your offers, the stronger will be your connection, right? So here you can see newbies, beginners, intermediate, elite, and leader class, right? I chose to have these 5 categories for a specific purpose. People might be looking, maybe not interested, maybe, why not? The fact that you're in the space with me makes you a newbie. If you have already actively started, you're a beginner, not sure, right? If you have more confidence in what you're doing, but still see more room to grow, you're in that intermediary state, right? If you're taking lead, putting projects together, but still working outside of a team structure, but very efficient in what you do, you fall into that elite class, especially if you're able to pass on knowledge, right? Leader class, well, it is what it is. All of the above and more, right? So these are the basic understanding that I have, at least in this environment of these different persona that I had to have discussion with over the years. So I'm bringing this together here. Same goes for you. When you look at the different conversation that you had around your product and the knowledge of the conversation of the audience versus what you're putting forward, you could outline a scale of your audience type, right? Same thing could be said in this case. We could apply that same example. Some of these are in the first phase of their lifespan, right? Easier to discuss with, right? Easy to exchange. Whenever somebody is new to an industry or is not necessarily very confident in what they're doing, they tend to be a fruit to what you have to offer, right? When people have years of experience behind them and have built-in bias, right, or perception, then there are layers to peel, right? Now, a leader class is a very hard nut to crack, right? So it's a reverse, but these still apply. Frame change, right? We apply this example to our clients. Well, when we apply it to us in reverse, in the level of conversation that we're going to have or interaction, that example also applies, right? I was looking at these traits. I built this here with AI. I was evaluated. I'm still evaluated in it, but you can see that the framework for what was offered is pretty simple, right? Just starting out, like I said, learning the basic of networking, branding, and personal position, still developing confidence and consistency. We're an observer, right? Key traits, no previous marketing or sales experience. We get that a lot. Follow guidelines, but rarely initiate. We get that a lot, right? Limited understanding of the system and tools, right? If you look at the beginners, actively applying lesson, has a basic understanding of personal branding and marketing, starting to build consistency and some traction. I have a set conversation for these people, right? They understand how to present their offer, engage on social media, and practice content creation. So they are able to generate their tool, but still refining communication. I have a conversation for that. Going over this was actually allowing me to make more sense of all this year of conversation that we had and how to place it, depending on what you feel you are or what your traits are. There's a program that I can build to reinforce, cover, and outline the next steps, see the change, right? So often enough, going to that exercise makes, again, your acquisition conversation a lot solider, a lot more robust. Because now I know when I recognize somebody that has these traits, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing with them, right? I was aware of those, but fleshing it out like this, going through this process, is actually giving me more strength. I can't wait for 2026. It's going to be something else. Right? And I'm pretty sure that at least, well, if this is, well, no, not this, not if this is real, because I recognize myself or I understand clearly these traits because this conversation is meant for an audience like me, just like you. So these are not abstract concepts in this realm because we are part of it. Same thing when you're going to be doing this applying to your industry, whether it's wellness, whether it's finance. Well, the people that are keen and interested will recognize those. And that will also help you level them, If you understand these terms, but not those terms, but you're still interested, you fall within these categories, right? Intermediate, you're confident in your presenting, selling, and recruiting, demonstrating leadership potential, and support others. Right? The ones that are always popping in and saying, yeah, yeah, here's a, this is what yeah, the added commenters, right? Your last time I said people are active or reactive in your community. This is how they are differentiating themselves, and this is how you also recognize the reward, right? Very important. So key traits: consistently can teach, actively participates, right? The elite demonstrate mastery of marketing cycles, leadership, and team duplication. At this point, we're looking at people that understand the system enough to start scaling it, right? Very different conversations from an observer of what came before. Right? I'm going to review a little bit the leader class, but I'm pretty sure that it falls into that, right? Top five of the tribe. You're always present. You're always applying. You're always coming into the room with added value, right? You operate as a mentor for others, right? You are in this peer conversation with us here, me, Robert. You feel comfortable in this conversation. You take the stage elsewhere. You're able to take the stage here. This is you, right? You are able to create, duplicate, train. This is you. So just reviewing the different personas that I have dealt with or I expect to exchange with, I can already start creating a scale, right? And I'm pretty sure that all of us, to a certain degree, can actually at least have these three first tiers, right? Simple situation, everything falls in place. A little bit more things to do, but still manageable. And there is some care and some work and some follow up required, right? These type of categories. The less support you need, the more able you are, the more reaction you take in my direction, the more consistent you are, you scale differently, right? So this is me fleshing this out. And of course, in this space, since we're talking about training and skills, course library, course access, team access is offered, right? So very important. This is where things got fun. Once you start looking at how you can build people, then how you can reward them becomes interesting. And this was actually what I thought was going to be the hardest part. Turned out to be the most funnest part. And you'll see I went wild with AI, digging deeper in these concepts, trying to add metrics that I could use, even going into these gamification concept, right? So that's actually where things got really fun. So again, in line, I have my same classes, right? They have their own motto, call to action. They have their own signs. And here, the milestones, right? If I'm going to be upscaling, if I'm going to be teaching, if I'm going to be rewarding, I need skills. I had the skill. Now I need how people will achieve these. And again, these are things that will be offered. These are things that you can take a look at. How well can you pursue into this offer will make the difference in how you adjust it. But you can see fleshing this out was pretty easy, right? So again, the whole difference are in the milestone, right? You entered in 3 tribe session, you complete the solo corp, you took that step, you're in the part of the tribe, you created your first core profile. Bio pitch means what you have your solid digital card at least, right? A milestone here, hosted at least one co-live session, meaning you came here, you might have held the fort as a co-host, letting people in, moderating the conversation, right? This can be done at any level, especially that these days we want to be in front of the camera as soon as possible, right? I have a client that is very good at engaging people directly, but is still learning how to put together the rest of the system. The confidence in front of the camera is levels or above the confidence in the environment of building strategy, but it's coming. right? Because once you have that power in one hand, it's just a transfer of confidence, right? So milestones here, same here. You mentor at least your newbies, right? And newbies are different than connectors and people that have already at the level of intermediary or have already a baggage of knowledge, right? Here is you being confident enough to deliver the ABCs, right? Milestones as the strategist, well, you mentor three tribes, right? You develop your own and continue to build on system, and you lead the tribe in certain trainings. This is me looking at, well, if you like this community and you want to take part in it for your own benefit, we have these people coming in, train them, come back with that feedback, and I'll see, okay, well, okay, this is what happened. Okay, let's talk about that. Right? This is where actively, again, these people coming back to you and say, I really like this part. I think I can onboard some newbies, or can you teach me how to onboard some newbies? All these open up, right? Before doing that, I was like, okay, maybe people don't want to talk to me, but maybe I never gave them a reason to. Very important, right? And of course, the leader class, well, you lead a major tribe initiative, right? You train or certify people and maintain active mentorship. Well, here I'm going to correct these to match them to what I think is more attainable or more not attainable, because these are attainable, but more easier for me to manage or to interact with this leader cast, right? I want to take a look at that. But again, very simple. And how do we gamify that, right? Experience point. If we are all coming to collect experience, let's then have fun with how much of these XPs we can collect. After that, how do I choose to reward this, or how do you choose to reward this will fall into what is more interesting to the winner or to that uh, uh, um, amount of XPs, right? It makes, again, things fun. You get to think, okay, well, what can I offer? All also in the spirit of building that momentum, right? So you see, it's actually fun, not as complex as you think it is when you look at it, not as a whole, but piece per piece, right? So keep those points, and I'm pretty sure that we can achieve, all of us can achieve this, especially with with the help of AI, just by asking ourselves the right questions. And we have the template in this space. Go ahead, Robert.
When you say achieve this, I wonder if everybody here watching, I know, and hi, Monica, glad you popped in, may not understand what it is that they're looking at or what you're showing them. As an example, with Jackie the other day, listening to me for 45 minutes, right?
Mhm.
I understand what I see here and I like what I see, but I don't want to be the one to explain it. So, anybody in here have any questions about what you're seeing or
True.
Virgil?
I'm not going to say what I'm seeing, but you know me, I connect dots. And so once you have decided, this is what my take is. Once, let's say, for example, Legal Shield. Um,
Mhm.
and maybe I'm looking, yeah, let's just say I'm looking for associates.
Okay.
So once I have that group together, this is a system that gives them can give them an onboarding process, but first you got to know who they are, and they have to figure that out, kind of, sort of, and where they are in that process to fit in.
Mhm.
Legal Shield has an onboarding process. I'm not sure that I agree with it, but I can see where I can take what they do and do this, because this is to me like a template or a pattern. So I can then um, create the onboarding and the tabs you have at the top for development, recognition, community program, etc. And this is just expanding on that. So, and it can continue to be developed and built out and also changed. So I can see that with that particular um, organization. if I were to do this, like if I was a coach, I could see where this could come in really quite handy so that people can go through the process.
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of looking at what you offer, what you're showing, and putting it with what it is that you do and see if it fits. And if that you look at it and say, hey, look, yeah, we do need an onboarding system like Money Mastery for Munchkins will need an onboarding system of where they fit in. And so, okay, like, how do I do that? All right, we can go check out Virgil's, look to see what he did. Okay, yep, I can do that. The development part, all of the tabs that you have in the top, they may not fit everybody. May not. Don't know because I don't know what everybody does. But it's just a matter of checking it out. Hey, look, I like that. Like I like his mice. The mice are super cute. I like baby Blakester or the Babe Boss babies. And so I might want to use that. That and oh, I never thought about doing that. Let me make that my avatar. And then that will be my spokesperson. So this is like a plug and play. Like, okay, this is what it looks like. All right, go do it if it adapts to you. And that's how I look at it.
Mhm. It's even what you see, you started with one thing, and I wanted to come back to that because this is where that reframing process comes into play. You said, if I have a group, right? This is when I do this. But the reality is that for you to have a group, you must have had a place already to retain them, right? Because you can't start giving them instructions if they're not into a place already. So the group idea is that you already had established this platform. And you had it right on the next part because we took one example. They have an onboarding process, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Even deeper, they have an onboarding process. I have my own brand. I
Hmm.
have my own way of doing things,
Hmm.
right? So right there from the beginning, when you're manifesting these questions, you're already thinking about your retention strategy, right? You're just not building it. You're keeping it in your mind. And we're shifting to that first part. Magnet, because you need the group of people, convert it, right? So you shift back to that first part. When in fact, the whole idea started with that question. I need to read, I can do this. I can gather people, but I don't necessarily understand or like the process here, and I want to do it my way. So right there, that strategy becomes,
And
right?
I have it's twofold. I
Mhm.
seem to do a bunch of stuff that anyway. It's twofold because I have a group of people and these would be people that are already members. These are my clients. So
Perfect.
I'm thinking about, okay, I got a group. Now, how can I make things easier for them so they have a place to go to when they have questions or how do I
Mm.
download an app or how do I, that kind of stuff. So that's a group of people I already own, so to speak.
Perfect.
And then I've got the recruiting side, which I don't want to put with the people I already own. I don't want to say own, bad words, that are already in that group.
The group that are part of that. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, I want those separate so I could see where this could work for my clients that are members of Legal Shield. And and then I also have people that are former associates in Legal Shield, so they already are aware. Maybe they haven't done the activity. That wasn't one of your steps. And so they would go in a different group or a different, they'd have a different site because they're two different things.
Hmm.
Um, and then that other one is other things that I want to do, the money mastery for Munchkins and da 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 da. So my brain is kind of all over the place, but I can see where I can use them in all of those areas, if that makes sense.
Yes, you're on the right track in a sense that it's just like the human body. One archetype, different flesh out, different dressing, different hairstyle. But in the first, the same archetype architecture remains. Whether you're doing it for the right group or the left group, one thing is sure. right? For example, you have already this community, and of course, you now have the obligation of giving to give them more, right? There are things that you need to repeat to reinforce. There are information that you want to make them aware of, right? There's new tips, tricks that you want to make them benefit from. This type of info hub becomes that. Remember, it's an info hub, right? It can be there to train affiliates, or it can be there just to reinforce the bond between an existing community, give them that space in which they can interact, right? It's the same process, for example, when you create your Facebook group or your Messenger group,
Mhm.
right? In this space, you just have more options to
Mhm.
showcase more information, to get them into deeper conversation depending on where they need to go,
Mhm.
right? So it applies. And I want to say this in because you said some of these may apply to you, some not. But in general, they will take different forms. But to have a complete conversation, you will have one of these, or you will have most of these lined up in a different way. Any type of community or product will need an onboarding. So whether you're talking about the mastery munchkins, whether you're onboarding the childs or the parents into this infrastructure, you'll need to guide them to the use of it. On the other side, same thing. You have your legal shield. They have a way of doing this. We're going to redefine the way it's done to make it more efficient. I done the work for you, right? An onboarding, right? And you know the principle behind these conversations. As much as I want to, I can't throw the book at you. So it's going to be a condensed, watered down version for the onboarding. Eventually, we're going to have to build your skills, right? And if you took the time to get involved, then I'm going to have to recognize you, right? This is when there's promos. The community will have steps to take, gamified, to get these promo codes, whether it's the product or legal shield. Same thing. You need to recognize the people. Community, we need to reinforce the conversation. If there's community news, I need to have a spot where I'm putting this in.
Mhm.
Oh, programs, whatever I offer, whatever is coming up, people in the community need to be aware of that. It's an info hub, right? Mentorship is something that whether I think I need it or not, I have to have in place because this is where you start scaling the interaction of your community. Remember, you can take care of 10 people, 20, 50, 100. Ooh, 200, I need help. I need that left or that right person. So this is built in your strategy,
Mhm.
whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah, because
Uh,
that takes a lot of work off of it gives you back your time.
exactly. Remember, this is meant, most of these sections are meant to be evergreen. I think I introduced that term yesterday.
Yep.
I'm going to reintroduce it here because my onboarding process in this community won't change for some time, right? Unless I start revamping everything, then well, but that will stay there. The community guideline, the community recognition skill levels, now that they're set in place, will remain there, right? Now, when I need to, for example, make announcemement, go to my vlog.
Mm.
This is where I do all the hot announcement, right? I even tried embedding, oh, look at this, it's working. We're live on YouTube on the website. Wow, small victories, right? So here, you can look at, if you can't make it, go to the website, take a look at the live when we're, right? Anything that is sweet, interesting, beyond the work, I can come here. Blog, article. Hey, I made a sound for the team. Check it out. If you want it, let me know. I'll send it to you in full, right? You start freeing your time. Instead of talking to one person, you can invite the whole community to this hub. This is what it is. Whatever is it that you're talking about, right? Mentorship, again, you want to have that built in. Because, anyways, people that come to you are coming to become better. And you have to rate them, let them know, and show that they're increasing level and then empower them. Right? We're trying constantly to create mentors.
Cool.
right?
Thank
You want
you.
to level people to your space. So keep that in mind. It's whatever, especially that I have that I want to champion that change of mind frame when it comes to people that get into network marketing. It's not about the sell, it's about the relationship,
Hmm.
right? And if you change that mind frame, then this is how you start looking at this. Before I invite you to my house, I need to clean it up. Get the right sheets, satins, as Robert said. Go ahead, Robert. Sorry.
Well, first off, I'm glad that I could open up that conversation like that. What I wanted to, and I'm thank you, Rita, for, being your brave and honest self. What I really wanted to say is just similar to what you had told me, Rita, and you saw. What you're seeing here is Virgil practicing what he preaches, and he's creating the system right in front of you. If you take care to take the journey, then by all means you can, right? But this is the core foundation of how you would do it. You would just insert however or whatever that information is for your particular business, your particular brand, right? Comes
Mhm.
back to one word, system, right? Once you have the system built, then that's going to do a lot of the automation, as you mentioned, a lot of the work and heavy lifting for you, especially if you have videos that already explain everything for you and walk them through. Then you can say, okay, well, did you check out this section? Or did you watch this video? Or did you this, that, or the other, right? But ultimately, you're building a community. And the better that you build that community, I like to use the word that I mentioned yesterday, you have some stickiness to it, then people will stick around, right? Because they're ultimately here for the community. They like what they're learning. They like the community itself, the people that are there, things of that nature. And on that, I yield. Dr. Lisa has her hand up.
Go ahead, Dr. Lisa.
Okay, thanks.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I just want to say a few things, and I wrote them down real quick because I got to go. So,
Yeah.
number one, this is visionary. It's not just good, it's not just awesome, it's next level visionary. And um, I'm very protective of my energy, and that's one reason I'm not 100% all in the community day by day, but I am on a parallel path. And, um, you know, I could say more. So let me just go on to another point. But yeah, it's beyond genius. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Uh,
And you're more present than you think because you are constantly when you're here interacting, right? If we look at the skill level or the community level, you're not at the beginner. You're not at the beginner level. You're constantly showing in, timing in, showing result, showing work. So you're more active than you think you
I
are.
I agree with you. No, I agree with that. I just like if I had to put points on the board, I'd miss many points within this particular gamification, but I'm putting points on the board in my own personal walk. And
Nice.
it's just a matter of time and energy that I'm not even more involved. But okay, so you talked about giving access, and this is really a big point for me. Um, Giving access for a particular period of time 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. That for me is I'm learning, I'm evolving in my thought, but my natural tendency to nurture, that for me is quicksand. you know, because if I could put it in a medical, for it's like you don't want to put someone on a ventilator because it's so hard to get them off.
Mhm.
So it's the decision to put them on. It's like you have to be really sure. And when I give people access to myself, where they can text me anytime, or they can, um, there are some people, and maybe that's part of my necessity to assess them. But yeah, people, I hope I hope I'm saying it. Understand? I don't even have the words because this has been a lifelong thing.
Mm,
As a physician, as a health coach, just as a friend,
mm.
people like me. It's like you can't call me at 2 in the morning. I mean, you can, but because I am up usually. But why? Why do you? Anyway, I'm back. I'm okay. Point number two you said was absorbing what AI provides you. And I'm telling you, Chat GPT will up if you work with it, you really get the juice out of it, man, it will up level you like nothing else. And
Uh,
that's another reason I don't have time and energy in the community because I've been spending it with Chat GPT. But absorbing what it provides you so much
mm.
extra. And I'm like, okay, that was great. I can't even think about that right now, but I got to get back. You got to circle back to that. All right. Um, Coaching, supporting, mentorship, community, invaluable. Uh, oh, I'm a visual person.
Mhm.
I mean, I have to be everything, right? I have to be, but the visual anchors that you have in your process, going from the candle to the match to the lightning, come on, that's amazing. All right, your retention strategy is gold. And the more I learn, the more everyone in the elite echelon is talking about using AI to create better relationships and better connections. That's amazing to me. But it's through just what Rita said, segmentation.
Mm, mm,
And so I'm learning now about list, you know, what do you call them? Not targets, tags. I'm learning about tags and lists and segments and things like that to make the customer journey more or feel more personalized.
mm.
So you're right on it, Rita. All right.
Thank
And
you.
then the last thing is avatars and archetypes. So in my program, I've got seven archetypes. I get them mixed up. Yeah. Seven archetypes, meaning the women that I'm attracting to the program,
Mhm.
but it's a 9 step program, and each step has an avatar that's like their
Okay.
guide. That's their, so that's that's what I got. So
Well,
thank you for letting me share. But this is
it's a
amazing,
pleasure.
and I'll just tell you personally, as far as building, Chat GPT and I have been deep into building my email infrastructure. So I have just attached a new domain, verified SMTPs, all it's like, okay, all I have to do is write the emails now, write the sequences, and it's ready to go. So
Perfect.
whole nother level. Thank you.
Perfect. And that's something that you're going to be able to pass on to others when you start training them.
Actually, I take screenshots of everything and I like circle, click there, press there, and when this thing you're asking you to fill out, they really mean this, and
Mm,
so and I did it for myself because I, I've done it with things in the past. I've done it with domains in the past, like hooking up to SendGrid,
mhm,
and I forgot, right? But I had a PowerPoint of screenshots when I did it with a previous domain. And I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And so I've updated it now because some things have changed. But yeah, I can teach it.
There
So,
you go. And
so
it's that process. It's that process, that system that you put in place for yourself that you will pass on. And one of the things you said that I want to time in on was actually that success. The recognition that people want to talk to you, and that if you make yourself available, they will talk to you at every hour of the day. Great success. You're now also creating that zone, right? Because you have to create your leadership availability, is what I'm trying to say. Meaning that if I make myself available to you, yes, it's for a certain period of times. You control when you are making yourself available, right? Because it's important to understand. When I started this, I think, oh, I have changed, but I used to have people telling me, "Are you doing this the whole day this way?" And I didn't catch it at first until told me said you're putting so much energy in the conversation. You're jumping around. You're doing many things. Are you keeping this energy with all the clients every day? And I said, well, yeah, it's naturally what I do. I do have these times where I can cool down, but when I come into the fold, I'm very passionate about it. And yes, it's a massive energy drain. At the end of the days, for example, I'm drained out, right? So you want to control your energy. That is also one of the higher tiers of leadership because we are meant to give energy to people, right? When you are lost, when you are low on energy, you want to pick up the phone, call your leader, and it's like connecting to the booster charge. Okay, I got it, right? So when you take on the leadership role, you turn into a dynamo. You're giving energy out constantly, and you also have to be aware of that, right? You'll need your downtime. Usually after these meetings, I have to take an hour break and I sleep a good night so that tomorrow I wake up with my synapses there because there's a lot of energy that goes there. All this passion and care that I want to manifest. It is true, it is taxing. It's just like getting on a field and playing a football game. All your body into it, but your heart is into it as well. You generate energy. Emotions are, they consume energy, right? A smile consumes energy, anger consumes energy. And if you're in this space giving smile, giving energy, giving, right, an opening on the future for things that can be achieved, it's going to drain you. But you also have to manage that. Personal development, it's part of that as well, right? So,
and
yes,
that
it's a great thing. If people are calling out to you, they recognize your leadership. If they want access to you, your knowledge is a gift, right? Manage that so that you don't burn yourself out. And it's also where that need to delegate comes in. Right? Maybe I'll have somebody in a different time zone. So when they hit me at 2 o'clock, they're actually hitting me at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's good. He'll report when I wake up. We go and bang it out. Right?
I have
Things
my
like
eye
that.
on a health coach community. Like,
Sorry?
all right, if I got a high ticket program, I could afford to let some well trained health coaches take some of that
I
time.
want you to reframe that going forward. Not when I have a high ticket. I am the high ticket. I have this
Well, okay,
value,
I have
right?
it. I have it.
You
I
can
just
offer it. And that's the change of all this time and effort that I put to give you this knowledge makes you the high ticket product,
yes.
right? All these screenshots that you took to optimize yourself so that you can answer your own questions and answer other questions, make them save time. Going to higher tiers of application makes you the higher ticket, right? And
And
if
it's the
you
same
feel
thing.
that you have road to grow, well, that's perfect. Perfection is the becoming, right? But it starts with that light, that match. Not if I have a high tier product. I am the product. I endorse fully what I say. I believe fully in what I put my passion in. I believe fully in the community, in the space, in the house that I'm inviting you to stay in, right?
I receive.
And AI will give you knowledge. And this is where I stand on that. AI will give you vast, infinite knowledge, but will never give you the embrace and the warmth of tap on the shoulder. Well done, boss. We still have road to do,
Actually,
but we're
my
killing it.
AI is trained. In fact,
Uh-huh.
and it surprised me the other day. I asked it for, I asked it for some output. It said, "Yes, chef, here it is." That's a great idea. My AI is very encouraged, but it's funny because it's the thinking. I use a thinking model on ChatGPT. So when I watch it thinking, it'll say, um, "The client seems to need uh, hand holding or step by step instruction with like behind the scenes." But then when it comes to me, it's like, that's a great idea, let's just take this step by step, here we go. It's like, I know that's not you, you're just doing that for me. But I see AI is going to take over the world, but right now I'm using it.
Mhm. But also keep in mind that interaction that you're having with AI and make sure that you apply it when you're having it with real people. That genuine interest, that personal touch, the fact that they picked on AI picks up on your patterns to deliver you the answer that you would most like.
Mm-hmm.
Who should be doing it in this space? Us picking up on the patterns of the clients so that we give them that mirror effect in the conversation. So understanding that AI is built to do that as a brand ambassador, as a networker, you have to also sharpen that skill. Oh, this is how he's doing it. Okay, I can learn this. I can take this outside. I can
Mm-hmm.
duplicate it. It's a
Absolutely.
synergy.
It's like,
AI is teaching you, you're teaching it.
yep. I
Go
said, I
ahead,
see you.
Rita, for the
I know.
finale.
I see you.
This is for Dr. Lisa. Dr. Lisa, if you could take all of your images that you created and put them in little piles and stacks and put a value on everything that you have done, anything that you have learned, it would probably reach to Jupiter. So I would say that's the value you have. You are a value. And then look at your avatar or they're like it might fit on the top of a pinhead what they know, but you've got all of this and more to offer. So your value is, as they used to say, a high value woman. So put that price up there, girl. The ones that need it will come. And the other ones, you don't want them. You want the ones who's going to pay. Don't worry about the rest. It'll come.
That's it.
Yep.
And it's not
And
even
I
about the
actually
fake it till you make it. It's believe and
Yeah.
you will shine about it.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, you will shine. And this is why also loving the fact that you're imperfect makes it that nobody can actually take a shot at you. Well, I know I'm imperfect. I'm going to grow. Whatever you say, I already accepted. You can do me no harm. I only have room to improve when you accept it. Well, this is what the world is. I am imperfect. I am meant to be, I am meant to strive to become better. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm on the path. My speed, my choices, my decision, my confidence, right? And yes, we're in a community. So what you do has to bring value to others, not just absorb emotion and value from people to elevate yourself. No, empower people. Empower people. If you have 100 people talking to you because you talking about you because you touch their lives, even in the simplest way, I'm pretty sure that the guy up there or whatever you believe in is saying you have a seat in this spot. You've helped others. You made echoes into the life of others. That's where the relationship part for me is so important when you're building this. So much so that I believe that it came actually from you guys, right? If you hadn't stuck with me throughout this year, maybe this wouldn't happen. But the value connection, when you're not here, I think about you. I have to come with something. I have to bring them a new perspective, right? However, whatever I think I have to offer, I have to make it real for everybody. And that energy consumes, and that is what you share, and this is what people on consuming, receiving, right? So manage your energy, understand that relationship are about joy, even when you're trying to create a transaction, it has to be an experience that you both enjoy, right? And that will seal the deal. He puts you in that yes phase, and that confidence comes from everything that you have done before, putting your house in order, dressing up properly, right? Often enough, we think brand, you have to dress up properly to go out there. Yes, you have to dress up properly to go out there and invite them back into your home. So you have to better have to have a clean house. Prepare that, right? Be the strive to be the good host. Often enough in this industry, we don't have good leaders, right? We have closers and trainers of closers, right?
Yeah.
So
And
Well,
that's
thank you.
why we follow you, the ones that are here and are consistent. We follow you because we recognize the value that you are providing with blows us away. Well, blows me away, I'll say, because I'm like, okay, I never thought about that. Oh, really? How long would it take me to sit in front of YouTube and learn what you're teaching us? And the same thing with Dr. Lisa. How long would it take her avatar to, or her potential clients to learn all the stuff that she's learned? She's cutting that in more than in half, just as you are. And then if you put a financial value on that, your time that it took, maybe it took you 20 years. Virgil, you're probably 22, so you haven't been here as long. But we're trying to still figure out that age group. So once we understand that time, that condense that time for us so that we're like, okay, let me just go to his site. I can follow him. Let me go to her site and I can follow her. You know what? She's got good information. There, you're priceless. You're priceless. So you deserve to get whatever you want to charge. You deserve it because you put in the work, you put in the time. It doesn't matter, how many people, maybe it's not 20 people who are following you or who are with you. Eventually they will come because you believe in yourself. And that whole manifestation stuff works. I know it works. It's crazy, but it does.
absolutely.
Amen. All right. I got to
We,
see.
we,
Go ahead.
yes, on that note, we'll say goodbye to each other just for now. Remember, Monday we're together, and all this makes me build it, and they will come. Right? Don't go out there telling them that you're building something that they will be able to come in with. No, build it, and as they see it rise, they will come.
Yeah, they'll be
Right?
curious. They're curious,
So,
nosy.
great.
Everybody, thanks a lot, guys.